Okay, what does the future of sports broadcasting look like? I think we are going to end up with more streaming services getting sports rights. We are seeing a shift away from traditional TV, be it terrestrial free to air and also subscription TV packaging, which also includes sports on subscription TV. We are seeing that shift. We've also seen sports broadcasters lose lots and lots of money. We can use Setanta Sports here in the UK going bust, BT Sport rebranding as TNT Sports, and a huge stake in the company, which was owned by the BT Group, being bought by Warner Brothers Discovery, and the collapse of Bally Sports in the US, although the name is still going, they're filing for bankruptcy. The struggles of Rogers, which owns Sportsnet in Canada, and the future of Premier Sports, which is also owned by Viaplay in the UK and Ireland market. Again, they feel that niche lost by Setanta and their ongoing future. Now, for me, as a sports fan, I consume all my sport online. Now, yes, a fair portion of that is through the domestic TV broadcasters on their live streaming arms, which is ITV. I watch all of my sport on ITV through the ITVX, formerly known as ITV Hub live streaming. So I'm still technically watching a TV broadcast, I'm just watching it on my laptop, and the same with the BBC iPlayer, where I'm watching live sport from the TV feed again, and the TV red button, the BBC red button, again on my laptop. And we can debate the pros and cons of the free-to-air broadcasters and their quality of their streaming platforms. Channel 4, their streaming platform is atrocious. Channel 5 isn't much better, but Channel 4's live streaming is absolutely atrocious. The website is terrible. It's full of bugs. It's clunky. It doesn't really work. ITV's is quite decent. They've put a lot of investment into it. They've rebranded it. They've restructured it. It takes a little while to get used to the restructuring and the rebranding, but once you've actually got used to it, it works quite effectively. There's a slight time delay, but it's not massively bad. It's actually quite an easily navigable website. It's quite simple to use, and it's quite convenient. You can stop, fast forward through the ads. It's quite a decent streaming service. If you get the premium, you get ad free. But I don't want to pay for the premium because I'm on a budget at the moment and trying to look after my finances. But it's pretty decent. So we're already seeing people not really use the TV. They're going on the computer. They're going on the mobile device, be it a tablet or a phone, and they're leaving TV behind. And even though you can get these smart TVs, they're kind of big things, and well, I'm limited for space. So my TV's over there, my other TV's down there, and I only have them for my old school PlayStation for the analog TV. And the bigger one is for my Xbox, and none of my consoles currently are plugged in. I played all my video games, got all of them, and there's nothing in the pipeline for general release that I actually want to play on the video game. But that's the only reason why I have TVs. Neither of those TVs have ever been plugged into a TV aerial or satellite. They're only for games consoles. Now, what we are seeing, and as someone who has a Netflix account, for example, streaming services like Netflix, like Disney Plus, like Hulu, they want sports rights. Amazon already has sports rights. So these streaming services are getting into the negotiations when packages, games, are put up by, let's say, the Premier League, for example, the English Premier League. The clubs have already agreed to put more games up for tender for live broadcast. There's also the debate of potentially getting rid of the 3 p.m. kick-off blackout for the domestic audience in the UK. Currently, if you live outside the UK, you can watch the 3 p.m. blacked out games. So they're going to make more games available for live broadcast domestically. I think every game you are available to watch overseas, but that's again a debate that has infuriated football fans in the UK for a very long time. It's to do with broadcasting laws and broadcasting rights and protecting. The economics have changed since 1992. Let's just say that. The complete economic landscape and media landscape has changed massively over the last 30 odd years. From when the Premier League was a breakaway league from the Football League and the initial Premier League was set up with the 22 top teams in England to the current 20 top teams in England currently playing in it, the economics has massively changed. And I'm going to discuss economics because BT which has a part stake in the current TNT Sports in the UK, formerly known as BT Sport, has lost money on its sports TV arm. In France, their broadcast arrangement for the French domestic football league collapsed. So you can only watch, I think, 10 live games a year now. 8 of I think 7 are on Amazon, and I think 2 are on Canal Plus. So the French domestic league doesn't have a broadcast arrangement in place, and no one wants to buy it. It's not seen as worth the money at all. Setanta have gone bust years ago, and the effects are still being felt. Premier Sports has merged with Viaplay, and there's concerns about their long-term viability in the sports market. And the parent company is Swedish, and there are concerns: is it actually making money? Is it losing money? Can it sustain its business model? And then you look over in the US and Canada. There's issues with their broadcasters as well. Again, losing money. I'm going to use Bally Sports as the example because they're filing for bankruptcy. Well, their parent companies file for bankruptcy. Now, Bally Sports still exists as a broadcaster, but for how much longer? Because regional sports in the US don't make any money anymore. And then you've got DAZN, which is an upstart broadcaster. Are they actually making any money? Are they really? DAZN, I think they're known as. Are they actually making any money? Really? Because if Sky keep having to raise the cost of their subscription because people are tuning off and not paying for it and cancelling, I can't see. It's basically the streaming services and the various sports leagues setting up their own websites or agreements with things like YouTube. Some sports have actually got, you can watch their every live broadcast on YouTube. World Rugby have their own page. IIHF have their own YouTube channel where you can watch live games at international level at various points throughout the year when the various tournaments are on. Same with World Rugby. Outside of the Rugby World Cup, you can watch the lower Tier 2 and Tier 3 nations play. You can watch Rugby Sevens without a geo-block. I think geo-block is going to disappear at some point. We've seen the piracy case between Qatar and Saudi, which delayed the takeover of Newcastle United. There is a massive generational shift. Older viewers will still watch on TV. Younger viewers are going to the streaming services. Now, Netflix have come out and said they are very, very keen to explore options to purchase broadcast rights for live sport. We've seen Amazon get live sport, rugby union and football. We've seen Amazon buy in with the Amazon Prime streaming arm into live sport. The NRL, which is a which is a league I love, and the AFL, another league I like, have their own streaming services via website where you can watch every game live or on demand, ad free. And it's a lot cheaper than your traditional subscription TV package. So we are starting to see that massive shift. Each country has its own broadcast laws and rules and percentage of broadcasts that have to be free to air, percentages that have to be behind a paywall or limits. But I think with the globalisation of sport, the shift is happening. Consumer habits are changing. Now, I live by myself. Yes, I have a TV licence, and that's another debate which we have in the UK about the future of the TV licence and should it be scrapped? Should the BBC, and Channel 4 be both fully commercial, although Channel 4 is partly funded by commercial advertising? Should the TV licence be scrapped? There's been a lot of scandals again surrounding both channels and both networks. And of course, you've got the commercial networks. Now, as I say, when I watch live sport, it's via the streaming arm of the commercial and free-to-air networks. So ITV and BBC, I watch streaming on the internet. So, and I'm part of that viewership shift. I have less disposable income than my mother and my stepfather. They have more disposable income. They can afford to pay for a full Sky package. And when I say the full Sky package, that includes Sky Cinema, Sky Sports, and the other related sports packages with the other channels that have agreements with Sky Sports. And of course, they have every channel. They have every channel, or the availability to get every channel on their Sky package. I can't afford that. So they have more disposable income than me. So I have to cherry pick what I sign up for. Now, with YouTube allowing free-to-air, basically free live streaming of things like the European Le Mans Series, the IIHF World Championship Ice Hockey, World Rugby have their own, so I can watch Rugby Sevens, I can watch the Tier 2 and Tier 3 nations play. It's pretty fantastic. And a lot of sports teams have their own channels as well, where you can watch a free highlights package, and you don't have to dig for it. You can subscribe. So if you like a particular team, you can subscribe. Um, the NRL does actually have its own YouTube channel. So if I do miss a game on the website, I can watch it live and I can watch it on replay ad free on the NRL channel. So I think professional sports leagues have realised negotiations can be drawn out and expensive. Skip the negotiation phase. Use a streaming service. And YouTube and Netflix and Amazon are already involved in the sports media in some way. Netflix has had so many sports documentaries. Amazon, Disney Plus, Paramount, HBO, all these streaming websites or streaming services have ventured into the sports market, mostly with documentaries, but they've realised that people will sign up. They've realised people are interested, and well, you could argue they've had issues with their subscription and business models where they've lost subscribers or they've lost a bit of money, but more people are signing up for the streaming services than traditional TV, and the viewership figures on TV are falling. Peak viewership is falling. I could use cricket for an example, where in 2005 the peak viewership of the Ashes was over 20 odd, I think nearly 28 million. The Cricket World Cup in 2019, we're looking at 12, 13 million viewers less, around 15 million peak viewership during the final. So TV viewership over the last 2 decades has significantly dropped year on year on average. So I use that as an example. And these are approximate figures. They're not actually 100% accurate, but these are figures that I've seen quoted. So will we see the rise of streaming services and the social media, YouTube, for example, getting more sports rights? Or the traditional linear broadcasters and subscription TV broadcasters, will they still hold sway and dominance when we go for things like the Olympics, domestic leagues, world championships, world cups? Will they still have those guaranteed rights? Because even though the BBC and ITV, for example, the FA Cup and World Cups and Euros, Channel 4 with the qualifiers, I still watch online. So I'm not actually watching on TV. Will these broadcasters go solely onto the internet? Will we see TV become a thing of the past? I mean, there's a lot of debate there, but I wouldn't be surprised if Netflix actually gets some sports rights. Paramount, Disney Plus, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually do get sports rights long term. Disney owns ESPN, so I wouldn't be surprised if at some point Disney actually has some live sport. Amazon obviously already does. YouTube already does. So it's going to be interesting to see what actually happens. Obviously, the issue of piracy is still there as well, and that does cost a lot of money from the industry. It costs the industry a lot of money trying to combat that. VPNs as well. So the landscape's changed since the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, when satellite TV and cable becomes popular. It's changed massively in the last 3 decades, 4 decades, and will continue to change, and it's changing more rapidly as time goes on. But we'll see what the future looks like for sports broadcasting. We'll see when the next Premier League rights negotiations take place. We'll see when other leagues and sports have their TV rights negotiations. The IOC with the Olympics, for example. We'll see what happens with their TV right negotiations and who gets what, but I wouldn't be surprised if Netflix and Disney Plus and other streaming sites get a bigger stake in live sports broadcast. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll have some more content for you very, very soon.